Alright, so we're going to build this beautiful React authentication full stack project from scratch. This is the finished project obviously, but we're going to code this from scratch. Alright, so by the way, don't forget to check out my course. It's available in Udemy. It has been released just yesterday, and the course link is in the description. Alright, so here first thing you want to do is decide where you want to create a project. So I'm going to create a project inside this folder, Udemy folder. So create a new folder. Let me call it what do we call it? React Node Auth. All right, and then click this folder, drag it to the editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code. I'm going to just put right here in the middle so it's nice and easy to use. All right, make it full screen. All right, so we don't have anything at the moment. What we want to do is we want to create two projects. We're going to have two separate projects. One is for our backend, NodeJS MongoDB API, and another one will be the front end with React. Alright, so as you can see here, I have a terminal open. So you can either use a terminal like this, the separate terminal, or you can use the built-in terminal that you can use with VS Code. So you can just use terminal here, new terminal. You can just use this built-in terminal. I like to use a separate one because it's just too many things in one small screen, so I like to keep it separate. All right, so let me get inside that folder we just created. So cd u2, that's the folder I'm working on, and then this is the project, right? So React Node Auth. So here we're going to create two folders, one for backend, one for frontend. Now you can manually create a new folder, or you can go here and just create a new folder. I like to do it from the command line. So from here I'm going to use make directory server and then make directory client. Now we have two folders. You see, we have two folders. So let's work on the server first. We're going to build our API with all the authentication endpoints, and then only then we're going to move to the React. All right, so we're going to work with the Node.js API first. So cd server, and then first to start using npm packages, we have to use Express and many other packages. So for that, we have to initialize our project with npm. All right, so first let's make sure we have the node with the latest version. I'm using version 16. You can always visit nodejs.org to download the Node.js latest version if you need to. All right, so I'm going to initialize my project. So from within your server folder, run npm init and -y flag. All right, so with that command, we get this file created called package.json right here, and it has all this basic information. All right, so just the standard information here. We don't have any packages yet, so let's go ahead and start install our very first package called Express and NodeMon. So Express is the package we're going to use to build our Node server, and NodeMon we're going to use to continuously run our server. All right, so once that's done, you'll see we have these two dependencies. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and create the entry point for our server. So here in server folder, let's call it server.js, and to make sure everything is fine, console log building node server, let's write it and come here. Now you can execute this file, the entry point, using node server.js. You can do that from within your server folder, and you see the console log building node server. All right, so that's great. Next, we want to remove that and instead start using Express. So const express equals to require express. We just installed express using npm, right? So once you install, you will be able to import that. So the way you import is using the require function. So you see require is a function, you give the name whatever you want to require, and you put that whatever you require, you put in a variable express. All right, so once you do that, you will be able to use express. Now we're going to put that in a variable called app equals to express. We execute that, and then with that we will be able to use all the properties and other functionalities that comes with express. For example, app.get. So express has this get functions where we can the first argument we can pass is the endpoint, the URL. So let's say API. Okay, and then the second argument is the callback function. So we're going to use arrow function request response. So this callback function will have access to these two objects, request and response. All right, so this is how the express application works. One of the many function is get. First argument is the endpoint, second argument is the callback functions where we have access to request and response object, and these objects give us a lot of the functionalities. For example, we want to send some kind of a response when we get the request here. So in that case we use request.send, or if you want to send JSON data, you can do .json, and then you send the data. For example, let's say data building NodeJS API. As you see, we access the JSON function from this request object. All right, so we got that as well. Now we have to listen to our application to a certain port. So let's put it in a variable port equals to let's say 8000. Okay, and then app.listen. Now you see this app is an express app. It gives us a lot of the functionalities. We already tried get. Now the next one we're trying is a listen. All right, so listen, we give the port name here, so that's port, and that is all we need. Okay, so that's all we need to run our express app. But if you want, you can use the callback function as a second argument, where you can simply write some console log. All right, so let me use backticks. Let's say running on port. All right, now you can actually give this a try. So you can continue using Node. Previously we already executed the server.js file using Node. Now do that again, and you see I've got this issue address already in use. This happens when you have another application running in your computer. So I must have another application running. So let me just kill all the processes using kill all node. This works in Mac. In Windows it might be different. All right, so let me run node server.js. Okay, you see running on port 8000. That is the console log here. That means we can now give this a try. This is a get route, so we can make a get request to /API, and then in return we should be receiving this JSON response. So let's give that a try. Localhost, that's 8000 /API. Now if you don't do /API and just use it like this, you see something like that. So that means your server is still running, but there is nothing. Cannot get, we don't have the endpoint with /, but instead we have something called API. Now if you do that, you see we got the response data building Node.js API. Are you looking for online course that will teach you how to build full stack back to front React and Node.js applications from scratch? Hi, my name is Ryan. I have over 30 full stack courses published in Udemy. Most of these courses are based in real world examples. So today I want to tell you just one thing. If you have basic understanding of JavaScript, don't wait anymore. Start building real-world projects with me and take your coding skill to a whole new level. I will teach you the core fundamentals of React, Node, and modern JavaScript so that you can start building full-stack JavaScript apps in no time. All my courses are suitable for beginner to pro level users. Each line of code is explained. Each question is answered and the source code is provided for all lectures. Click the 90% discount links down below to start this awesome journey with me. See that? Now, instead of sending this, you could do something like send, and you could send some HTML as well. For example, h1, and then say this is Node API in the building process. Come here, give it a refresh, and you notice that we are still receiving the old data. We're not receiving the new data. What happened here? What happened is, you see, NodeJS, the node process, it ran before, and it is still running the same process. So to see the change, we have to restart the node process. Now that's not really practical, right? So when you're building application, you don't want to just keep restarting. So that's the reason why we use NodeMon. Alright, so if you notice here in package.json we have NodeMon, so we can use NodeMon to continuously run our server. Okay, so let's write that script as well, start, so that it's easy to use. And then here we can use NodeMon server.js. Okay, now that we have written start script, anytime you run npm run start, this command will run, and as a result NodeMon will run the express.js, server.js. It will execute that, and any changes also it will be watching for the changes. Okay, so now we can run npm start. Alright, you see NodeMon is watching for any changes. It's running import 8000. We ran npm start. Okay, so let's go give it a try. Now you see we got the h1 response. Beautiful. Now that NodeMon is watching, you can make a change. Node API, change that, come here, give it reload. You see it works now. Alright, so we have the node server up and running. Now I want to give you a homework, because like I said in the beginning of this series, that in this course you will be learning how to do a lot of things, like a lot of how-to solutions, and at the same time I will be giving you a certain coding task so that you don't just blindly follow me, but you understand. So until you have to do something on your own, you don't actually understand. You just get comfortable and just wait for me to do certain things and you copy that. Okay, so that's all right, but to make the most of it and to learn quickly and effectively, you have to do it on your own. So obviously one way of doing that is repeating this course. After finishing the course or any project, you do it on your own. That is one way. The other way is I give you certain task and you do it. Yeah, that's that happens instantly. Okay, so you have set up your Express server. Now I want to give you some homework, and I will come up with a solution in the next video. So the homework is very simple. Okay, so what I want you to do here is try some console log and try to console log request and response object. All right, and see what you get in the terminal. So that will give you a better understanding of how everything works. All right, now one more time I'm going to repeat. If you're completely new to React and Node, check out my free courses in Udemy. Watch the very first video where I show you how you can go there, because they will be super helpful. All right, so with that said, I'll see you in the next video.